And we have Irina back. I think everything is working fine. Let's see, let's bring her on stage and see if the presentation is working. Let's do it.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
Let's try again. I think just...
Let's do it. Just try to share it. Let's see. Cross our fingers.
It was just a restart. Let's go. Everything.
Okay, it's sharing the screen. Now just put your presentation.
1 second, yeah, I'm doing it. Perfect. Can you see everything?
It's amazing. I'm going to leave you in a stage. Have fun. Please keep to English because I don't know if other people speak the other 4 languages. And have fun, Irina. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry about everything, guys. Just a good restart solved the problem as usual, really. So I'm Irina, and today I'm going to talk to you about product in Mindera. I will talk about my product journey, but also what techniques and practices we embrace in product in Mindera in general. So before moving, let's have a look at my journey first. So I'm originally from Romania, and in there I've studied computer science in high school, and then I decided that I wanted to follow a degree in computer science. So that's when I decided to move to Manchester, where I followed this degree, University of Manchester. And an interesting fact was that I actually went to Manchester without seeing the city before, without even being in the UK before. And I just knew when I arrived that that was going to be my home for the next 3 years. And then after graduating, I decided to stay longer. And that's when I moved to Scotland. And I started my career in investment banking. So I started a position in JP Morgan Chase, started as a technical BA, but then my role was very much a hybrid role, as I was doing development as well, testing, PO, PM activities, and all that. So that gave me a very good understanding of the entire software delivery lifecycle. After 3.5 years in the banking industry, I thought that I really wanted to go for something more creative. And that's when I found out about Apple Academy. So Apple Academy is a program in Italy. It's run in Italy, and it's a program in partnership. So Apple has this partnership with Federico II, which is actually the oldest non-section university in the world. And it's a great program, really. At their core, what stays at their core is challenge-based learning. So basically, you learn through challenges. And what you do actually is you try to solve problems, real-world problems through an app. So it involves a lot of user research, on-field research. You speak a lot with your potential users and try to understand their pain points and how would you solve that through your product. So it was a lovely experience, and that's really what convinced me to follow a career in product development. And after graduating from the program in Naples, I decided that I was ready. I really wanted to go fully on a product role this time, so no other hybrid roles. So that's when I also decided that I wanted to move to Portugal. And I was just surfing on the internet for product roles, and I found Mindera. And I immediately loved the Mindera culture, right? Really, I think Mindera is doing a great thing by putting people first. And also it was great to see that not organizations in the world are hierarchical, and that flat organizations are pretty cool, and that in order to be successful, you don't always need a great excess of management. So here I am at Mindera. As Pedro said earlier, I joined in December 2019 on the role of a product owner. But what's really a product owner? So I know that for a fact that people who are not in the tech industry really have difficulty perceiving this role, because every time I meet someone and I'm asked what I do for a living and I say I'm a product owner, they would just look weird at me. And then after I explain everything, they will just say, oh, okay, so you're a project manager. And then you know that you need to re-explain again and make sure they understand somehow, or just sometimes you just give up and say, yeah, kind of, I'm a project manager. So this is how we know anyways, right? In the industry, you have different differences, different definitions of the product owner and so on. But this is how we see the definition of the product owner. So of course, the product owner is the interface between the stakeholders and the development team. But it's not just that, right? The product owner is responsible for the vision and the business goals of the product. So he works very closely with the product manager. And he needs to ensure that the dev team is always trying to achieve this when they come to the delivery of the product, right? He also manages the product backlog and is responsible for the delivery, right? Something else I think it's very important, the product owner is someone who should connect with the development team. I think it's very important to see this relationship as a very strong relationship and a collaborative relationship. And the product owner should always try to make sure that the development team are not blocked and that all the processes work efficiently, so that the product can be delivered always on time. So let's have a look. What makes a good product owner? Of course, there are many. There's a wide set of skills for a good product owner, and it really depends on the industry. But I've collected in here some of the main characteristics which I think contribute to a good product owner. So the product owner needs to be a good problem solver, as you need to solve problems on a daily basis, and you always need to make decisions very fast and make sure the team is performing well and all the processes is clear. You also need to be a good negotiator, as we all know that customers and stakeholders really love to always change requirements, change delivery, change everything. So you need to be a good negotiator in order to protect your team. That's the next step in here. I think it's very important again. You need to be very good at managing the stakeholders' expectations. It's very important that your stakeholders are always kept in the loop, and they are always informed about the product. You need to know how to say no, of course. As mentioned earlier, in order to protect the team and the velocity and the delivery, you need to know how to say no to certain things. You also need to be a good listener, as you need to listen to the customers, you need to listen to your developers, you need to listen really to everyone and try to get back that feedback into the processes and ensure everything runs smoothly. And of course, you need to connect with the team, as I mentioned earlier. So, as I mentioned in the start of the presentation, in my case, I was never fully on a developer role, but I know there are many software engineers that move into product. And I think that's great as well, because a tech product owner, I think, can bring a lot of positive impact to the team. And this is why I think you're closer to the development team. You have a better understanding of their needs. It's easier to unblock them. You would already know what challenges they might face. And also, I think you would know how to get the right balance of features and tech debt, right? Because what happens, product people really love embracing tech debt. Of course, whenever you need to ship out an MVP and ship it to the market fast, you would cut corners, right? But it's very important to make sure you speak with your developers and always be aware of that tech debt, because sometimes maybe you're from a business perspective, you're ready to scale, but your code won't be ready to scale, and that's a problem. So I wanted to spend a bit of time on this one as well, because in the industry we see a lot of differences into the product roles, like job titles, right? So let's review this together. These are different roles, but sometimes the responsibilities overlap. So we have the business analyst, right? Which the main responsibilities here are to get the requirements, analyze everything, also from the non-functional part, and just like handle everything to the developers. Then you have the product owner and the product manager. So product owner needs to work closely with a product manager on creating the vision and the roadmap. As mentioned, he needs to be also involved into the release planning activities. He needs to have a good understanding of the customers, of the market, and also need to understand all these things, right? And then we have the project manager. So the project manager is actually more at a high level, right? So he would be responsible for planning and budgeting, monitoring, but also like outlining any risks to the senior management, for example. So great aspects of product management. It helps you to gain a great understanding about your customer through user research and metrics. It also helps to contribute to solutions that can improve someone's day-to-day life. So maybe someday you get a chance to create an amazing product which really brought some time saving maybe for someone, or even more critical in different scenarios. I think you also get the ability to work with a variety of departments, and you have responsibility but not authority. And you also, I think this is the most amazing bit, that through looking at all your customer behavior and understanding all that, I think you manage to find a connection between the digital world and then just the human brain, really. So to go back in Mindera and product roles in Mindera, as mentioned earlier, so in Mindera, we really work close with our clients to understand their needs, right? So we have the product owner role, but sometimes it depends on the client, and we can have some roles that focus more on purely the delivery side, or also on the BA side, on the project management side. So it varies in that sense, but we always plan, implement, monitor, and assess everything, really. So to capture if everything is not working as properly, and to change it. So practices embraced by Mindera. We have, of course, we embrace a Scrum and Kanban. And also Mindera is very much a fan of continuous improvement and continuous delivery. And I think this is very important, and we're always trying to bring this into our clients' attention as well, because this is the path to success, really. And we also, normally when we start a new project, we really like to define the scope for a minimum viable product and ship it fast on the market. And then from there, we can just learn by observing user behavior and understanding what else we need, what else needs changing, how we can improve it, what's coming up next, and so on. Something else which is very important is product feedback. So I'm talking more here about A/B testing. I think it's very, very important to run A/B testing whenever you're working on web project or app project, right? So what's an A/B test really is just comparing two variations on your website and just assess how that performs, right? So this is great because you can't never ask customers like why do they want, right? Because they don't know what they want really. It's better to learn by observing them, and when you observe them, you can then take the decision on towards what the direction you want to go with your product. So why and when you should do A/B testing? So why? It's great to learn about your customers' behavior, as mentioned earlier. It helps you with user engagement. It can definitely give you higher conversion values. It's extremely efficient, right? You get quick results. You don't need to go there and just spend a lot of time on building something without even knowing whether it might be the right thing or not, right? So it's great to ship something fast, test it, and then you can decide if that's was successful and you should invest more time into that. So reduces risk, which is great, and this also has a great impact on sales if done properly. And also, in what scenarios you really should do A/B testing. So when you're redesigning your website, it's very important to do A/B testing when you're redesigning your website, because imagine you cannot just go and change a product from this to that just from a day on another day. Like, your customers would just feel confused, right? And you need to observe if you are going towards the right direction with your product. So it's a great case to do this when you are redesigning your website. Also, when you're changing your features. So if you have any particular change you want to do on one of your features, it's important to test it before agreeing that would be the change for your entire product. Also, when you change your pricing model, especially startups have like a lot of challenges with coming up with the best pricing model. So it's very important to test this out, and it's something so to do so easily, and you can learn a lot about it, and then I think everyone should really do this as well. When you change the service, it's the same thing, right? A great scenario for A/B testing. It also helps when you want to improve your bounce rate, of course. So yeah, remember to stay agile. In Mindera, as mentioned earlier, we are really about agile. We really like to transmit this to our clients, and we want to make things as agile as possible. That's why we also always embrace change, right? I can give you an example. When I started in Mindera, I started as a product owner with working in a startup which had to do with life insurance, and really cool idea. So the idea was to revolutionize life insurance business, really, because life insurance is really something expensive. Not everyone would achieve it. It's very complicated to get it. So the idea was also to change people's attitude towards death. So it was called That Happy. And in my first weeks, we started to go with Scrum, so we were using sprints, right? All the ceremonies. And then we just analyzed, and we thought it's better to move to Kanban. So then we changed, right? We tried out Kanban, we used weekly goals instead. And then also from Jira, we moved to GitLab. And we managed everything in GitLab, actually, all the issues and everything. So that's something, an example, right, where we actually stay agile, we embrace change, and then we see whatever fits our clients' needs, and we do that. I think in the industry, just to conclude this, really, in the industry, we see more and more the water agile model and what that really means. So basically, you have the ideas, right? Then you have the business cases that are driven from these ideas, and it's very difficult to do this because you don't really know if things would work, right? It's just you're assuming things would work that way. Then from there you drive your roadmap, your requirements, your design, the build, based on the designs, and you test, and of course you deploy. And a lot of companies follow this, and sometimes it's just wrong. I think many companies just think because they run ceremonies, they find themselves as pretty agile, but that's not always the case. It's very important to always try to bring the engineers into the discussions early, and also they should help you on the solutions, because they would know much better than anyone, right? The ideal solution for a business problem. It's very important to do these things differently. So I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you got a good understanding of how product works in Mindera. And don't forget to keep a product mindset. And if you want to contact us, please write at product@mindera.com. Thank you very much. And hope to see some of you. I know it's Saturday night and it's quite late, but hope to see some of you in the Q&A questions later on. Thank you.
Good, Irina, good. Thank you so much for your presentation. It was lovely. You made it. And you keep it to English. I was afraid that you changed one of your other languages and we will be lost.
For next time.
Next time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.